Hello, fellow FanGeeks. It's your FanGirl Tally, and today, may the 4th be with you. That's right. It's a very special day in the world of the Star Wars fandom. And I'm not a big Star Wars fan. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't until Editor Hubby that I really started to get into the whole thing. So I thought, let's take a look at something and learn something, shall we? Every single lightsaber color meaning explained, all known 13 plus. This is by StarForceOne. So let's check it out.
Lightsaber does not make one a Jedi. The lightsaber is a crucial part of a Padawan's journey towards becoming a master. Across the galaxy, the Jedi, the Sith, and other force-wielding groups use lightsabers of a range of colors. But what do these colors mean? Well, I'm going to break down every single known lightsaber color in canon and exactly what they tell you about the user. So hit that red subscribe button down below to purify it, and let's get into the video. A lightsaber blade's color emanates from the kyber crystal inside of its hilt. This is the heart of a lightsaber, and its color is determined the moment a user harvests it from its resting place. So in essence, a lightsaber's color reveals something about its wielder and their personality. So that leads us to number 1, blue lightsabers. Blue lightsabers are the most common seen among members of the Jedi Order during the time of the Clone Wars. Blue sabers are used by Jedi Guardians who prefer to focus on lightsaber combat and honing their aggressive negotiation skills. Jedi Guardians are a mirror to Sith warriors from many millennia ago, and they were seen as the Order's representatives to the rest of the galaxy, using combat to protect those in need. Guardians spent most of their time honing their martial arts skills and on peacekeeping missions in violent locations. Some prominent examples of Jedi Guardians are Anakin Skywalker, Count Dooku when he was still a Jedi, and even Ki-Adi-Mundi, even though he was a bit of a psychopath, but we'll leave that aside. Number 2, green lightsabers. Green lightsabers were usually wielded by Jedi consulars. If a Jedi who was about to harvest his kyber crystal was more in tune with the cosmic force than his fighting ability, he would often have his crystal turn green. Consulars preferred to use non-violent methods of solving problems rather than pulling their lightsaber out. On top of this, consulars spent most of their time refining their meditation and hoping to get answers to problems through the Force. Now, although consulars would attempt to avoid conflict for as long as possible, maybe even too long, they were not stupid. They always carried their green blades around just in case they were needed. Finally, Jedi consulars were some of the best at using Force abilities in combat, making them incredible combatants despite being so against violence. Some notable examples of Jedi consulars are Qui-Gon Jinn, Master Yoda, and even Yoda's doctor. Number 3, yellow lightsabers. Yellow lightsabers were used by Jedi Sentinels, which was basically a mix of the previous two. Sentinels were some of the most powerful Force users within the Jedi Order, and when Jedi were chosen to become Temple Guards, they would be forced to take on this mindset of a Sentinel, a balance between fighting and calling upon the Force. Now, Sentinels were actually viewed as the most dangerous form of Jedi by Palpatine because they were very active in public life and were commonly seen helping the poor and unfortunate citizens of cities. As a result, Palpatine believed that a Jedi from this branch would likely be the one to overthrow him if they ever did, and he was dead wrong. Some big examples of yellow lightsaber users are the Grand Inquisitor before he fell to the dark side, all of the Jedi Temple Guards, Asajj Ventress after she broke off from Dooku, and of course Rey. Number 4, purple and amethyst lightsabers. Purple and amethyst lightsabers were exceedingly rare by the time of the Clone Wars because of the very unique personality and force attunement needed to harvest them. Purple kyber crystals could be harvested by those who were firmly in the light side of the Force, but were not afraid to use the dark side of the Force if it was ultimately for good. The obvious case of this was Mace Windu, who was definitely a light side Force user, but developed the lightsaber form known as Vapad, which channeled the dark side. The less obvious example of this is a Jedi Knight named Hulick. Hulick was a Rodian Jedi Knight who served during the time of the Clone Wars and was one of the rare users of an amethyst blade. Just like Mace Windu, Hulick was not afraid to use the dark side of the Force to help others, but never took it too far. Either way, during Order 66, Hulick was shot down by his clone troopers, but he did manage to get away and set a course for his homeworld of Rhodia. Unfortunately, he didn't survive the journey, and his family entombed him at his home along with his amethyst lightsaber. Many years later, Luke Skywalker discovered the lightsaber and compared it to Mace Windu's, but accidentally destroyed it when trying to deconstruct it. Nice one, Luke.
Nice.
Number 5, red lightsabers. Red lightsabers are probably one of the most interesting colors available for a Force user. Instead of being a natural color that can be imbued into a kyber crystal when it is harvested, it can only be produced through a very unnatural method. The user would have to make the kyber crystal bleed out through the Force, channeling their extreme anger and rage into it, eventually turning it red. This is done by pretty much all Sith, including Darth Vader. all kyber crystal colors can be turned to red through making it bleed with the dark side. Notable users of red blades are of course Palpatine, Vader, and interestingly enough, Taron Malicos, who blade his after Order 66. He however used Night Sister magics to do it, which is a very interesting variant of the dark side. And that leads directly into the next very important color. Number 6, white lightsabers. White lightsabers are just as interesting as red ones. In fact, the two are connected. To turn a kyber crystal white, a Force user must purify it via the light side of the Force to stop it from bleeding. We know for sure that a Force user can purify a red kyber crystal to white, but we're not totally sure yet in canon if the other colors can also be purified too. The obvious notable user of this color is Ahsoka Tano, who obtained her white lightsabers after killing the Inquisitor known as the Sixth Brother with her bare hands. She did this on the streets of Rada, a small farming moon, after the Sixth Brother discovered that she was plotting a rebellion after Order 66. Regardless, she exploded his own lightsabers on him, leaving only the bleeding red crystals remaining. She then purified these two crystals, turning them white, and used spare parts to construct her two sabers. Number 7, cloudy blue or sky blue. Surprisingly, this variation is actually different to regular blue lightsabers. A cloudy blue lightsaber was seen in the form of a saber cane used by Jedi Elder Terra Sunube. The cloudy blue color was only possible if the user harvested his crystal with a completely clear mind and remained focused on the living Force entirely. This matches up very well with Master Terra Sunube, who was wise beyond most. Number 8, yellow-green. Yellow-green is an extremely rare lightsaber color that was used by Padawan Ahsoka Tano during the Clone Wars. When Ahsoka harvested the kyber crystal for her Shoto Saber, the smaller one, she was shocked to find that it was not pure green like her first. It was instead yellow-green, a mixture of both, which told her that she was moving closer towards a balance between being a guardian and a consular. Since her original was pure green, this means that she was moving away from the cosmic force and closer to the living Force and lightsaber combat. This is probably because her master was Anakin Skywalker of all people. Very understandable. Number 9, black. The most obvious and only current black saber that we've seen is the ancient Mandalorian Darksaber. The Darksaber was created by the first ever Mandalorian to become a Jedi, Tar Vizsla, and after his death it was stored in the Jedi Temple vault for safekeeping. Unfortunately for the Jedi, the Mandalorians soon stole the Darksaber back, considering it a Mandalorian relic. At this point it became a symbol of power and leadership, and the Mandalorian who held it was considered the leader of the Mandalorian people. Known holders of this weapon are Tar Vizsla, the creator, Pre Vizsla, the distant descendant, Maul after he took control of Mandalore, Sabine Wren, Bo-Katan Kryze, Moff Gideon, and now Din Djarin. Now, there is a question over whether the Darksaber is a lightsaber or if it is a completely separate class of weapon, being a white Darksaber. Based on some of the artwork for the High Republic, it does appear that the Darksaber may not actually be a lightsaber, but instead a white Darksaber, and that there could be blue, red, or even green Darksabers if a Mandalorian chooses to make them. But right now, that is pretty unclear in canon. Finally, there are actual lightsabers that emit black blades used by the mysterious Sith Wraiths. These are in a currently unreleased book however, and we only know a small amount about them from the excerpt of Shadows of the Sith, so we can't go too deep into that. Number 10, orange. The orange lightsaber is a bit of a mysterious one. In canon, there is only one known user of an orange lightsaber, being Cal Kestis. But the problem is, this came from a pre-order bonus for Jedi Fallen Order, rather than anything in game. So right now we can only assume the meaning behind it. If I had to guess, I would say it's one of the two following options. Number 1, it could be a Force user who was so in tune with service to the public and was very selfless, like the yellow-wielding Jedi Sentinels, that their saber went even further than just yellow. This makes a lot of sense because Cal took one of the most selfless actions possible by saving Prauf when he knew it would expose his Force abilities to the Inquisitors in Jedi Fallen Order. Number 2, it could be the result of a failure to bleed a kyber crystal red. This one is less likely, but maybe at some point in Jedi Fallen Order, which we currently haven't seen yet, Cal is so taken by anger that he attempts to bleed his crystal red, ultimately failing, leaving it orange. This is still possible in Jedi Fallen Order 2 flashbacks, but I'm not leaning towards it. And finally, there are also kyber crystals called Fool's Kyber, which do emit an orange blade, but these aren't real kyber, so they don't technically count. Number 11, indigo. Indigo is another one of the lightsaber choices from Jedi Fallen Order, but it's not Cal Kestis' canonical color. In canon, there are currently no known wielders of an indigo blade. Number 12, magenta. Just like indigo, this one is from Fallen Order 2, and there are no currently known users of this color in canon, but it certainly does exist in the canon universe. Number 13, cyan. So again, cyan is just another lightsaber color from Jedi Fallen Order, and it's pretty close to blue, but not quite. There are no known wielders of this color in canon, and nothing more is known about it.
Do they really count?
That is all of the currently known lightsaber colors in Star Wars canon. Really hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that subscribe button down below, and What
do you guys think? Which color would you be? What color do you think I am? Comment below, let me know. Did you learn anything new? Which lightsaber color do you think is coolest? I don't know, guys. Alright. Please remember to like this video, and if you're not already a fellow fan geek, please subscribe to our channel. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.